how bad was your game week 8, or is your game week 8 going? I'm going to preview game week 9, and I can tell you that this has been my worst round of the season. I am relying on Chris Wood, miracle tonight in the Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace game to save what has been a disastrous week for me in terms of Fantasy Premier League. So without further ado, welcome to Fantasy Premier League, the D in its journey. This is my early thoughts ahead of game week 9. Now, let's just face the facts. I'm not going to waste too much time here, and I'm going to quickly go to the next screen, but this makes for sad viewing, and I'm going to go through this really quickly. I'm going to blaze over this as quickly as possible as well, because let's be honest, this is not an enjoyable sight. So as you can see there, I'm currently sitting on 33 points. I'm 1 point above the average for this game week. And it's been rough. It's been such a tough game week. And I did allude to the fact that I thought that this game week could be a low scoring game week. And the fact that I'm actually beating the average still, and the average is 32 points, suggests that it has been a difficult game week for most people. Now, hopefully I'll stay above the average. Hopefully Chris Wood scores a couple of goals and he gets a hat-trick maybe, and that'll really boost my rank, because I've gone from, I think, 87,000. So this is definitely going to be my second down arrow in a row. So I'm at the moment, I've blown out to 116,627. And that's prior to the substitute scores coming on as well. So look, let's have a look at some of the things. So I want to talk about a few things. So how important are fixture runs really? Because let's face the facts. 3 weeks ago, I wasted a transfer on Dean Henderson to bring in David Raya. And shout out to David Raya. The 3 weeks I have happened to own him, he's scored a total of 4 points in 3 weeks. It's so frustrating. I mean, like, I think there is something to learn. And at the start of the season, I should have held true to what I was preaching in the beginning. And I think you just need to be cheap in defense. It's pot luck. So many teams are conceding goals this season, like just odd goals. Keeping clean sheets seems like it's few and far between. And David Ray has now got 3 difficult weeks. He's got Liverpool at home, and then Newcastle away, and then Chelsea away. I mean, is he going to keep a clean sheet? Is he going to get me any points at all? Like, it's a legitimate question. I just don't know. I'm in so many more. I've got 2.5 million in the bank. And look, if this was game week 12, I'd be like, yes, man, he is out of my team. But like in game week 12, I want him back in my team. So I haven't played my wild card, and like I'm looking at teams that have played it this last game week, and they've got like 60 odd points, and here I am sitting on 33. I'm like holding on to the wild card now, when especially it's so tempting to just play it after you've had a score like this, like a score of 33, man. Let's have a look at the team, like what's going on. So Dwight McNeil and Morgan Rogers, let's start there, because my bargain basement midfielders again are holding this team together. The only reason why I'm not sitting on 20 odd points is because of the fact that they did well. And then Ollie Watkins, thank God I didn't trade him out, because I was thinking about getting rid of him for Solanke. But look, Ollie Watkins has definitely proven the medal, and if he keeps on scoring at this rate, he's staying in my team. I actually don't mind my forward line, and hopefully Chris Wood can deliver an 8 points or something, like a 9 points, to boost my score to something somewhat respectable. But let's talk about the flops. Now, I was all about the Leicester team, and I thought the Leicester double up this week would do a boatload better than it did in this game week. It was disappointing. The fact that they conceded twice to Southampton, they'd only scored 5 goals. They've now scored 7 for the season. How frustrating is that? I mean, I look at the next game and I'm like, Nottingham Forest at home, like, I look at my defenders and I actually think that I picked the exact same team I've got this game week if I don't make any transfers. And then again, I'm risking playing double up Leicester players again in a game week. And when they concede, and they conceded pretty early in this game, all of a sudden you're like, wow, well, unless they get some sort of attacking returns, I'm stuffed. So look, it was a really naughty play and it didn't pay off. And now I'm like going, well, I've got 2.5 million in the bank. Do I just bring in a Gvardiol? Like, it's a legitimate play. But then again, do you waste your money on the defense? Because City aren't keeping clean sheets either. And they conceded again against a Wolves team as well. And I don't think City are going to keep clean sheets. But like, is he going to get me more attacking returns? So, or do I just, it's like Trent. Trent's got difficult fixtures coming up and he got 2. And like, look, they've got Arsenal away. I mean, they're not the worst fixtures in a row, but I'm looking like at game week 13 and 14. How many clean sheets is he going to keep? Like, Villa seem to score goals. I don't know. I feel like potentially I could drop a Trent down to a Keane from Everton. That's 4.1. That will give me an extra 2.9 million in the bank, which means then I'd then have 2.9, 4.9, 5.4 to spend on a midfielder. So I could then upgrade like a Smith Rowe, who's sitting on my bench for the second week in a row here. He could become 5.6, add on that. He almost comes 11 mil. Like, I've got a lot of money to play with if I did that trade. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely thinking about potentially wasting an extra transfer this game week and doing a -4 to make a play like that, because the midfield seems to be where all the points are getting scored, and we'll get onto that very shortly, but let's have a look at the rest. So Cole Palmer didn't really do much against Liverpool, and I wasn't really expecting him to do much, but it was disappointing. He had a couple of good opportunities, and he just sort of blazed them over. It was very uncold Cole Palmer-ish. Let's put it that way. And Mbeumo, disappointing against Manchester United. He barely did anything. I mean, the Brentford team didn't play well, and Manchester United actually played pretty well. And they're attacking assets now. Potentially they're back in the market. They've got a good run of fixtures. And I'm a United fan, so, I could be tempted to bring them back in. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about at this particular moment in time. And Morgan Rogers, brilliant. Like, as I said, Villa are keeping me afloat in fantasy at the moment. Since I made those were the 2 best transfers I've made. They've delivered so many points for me since I bought them in. I'd be lost without them at the moment. So I'm hoping that Villa can continue it on. But the Champions League comes back again this game week, and then we'll just have to wait and see what happens from there. And then obviously I can't comment on Chris Wood because he hasn't played yet, but I am hoping he'll do well. And he's also another option that, if he doesn't start playing well, but he has got kind of fixtures for the next 3 game weeks. But the Wolves assets is someone I really want to look at. I just want to get them in before they start all rising in price, because they do have a dream run from here on out. And let's talk about Erling Haaland. How much is Kevin De Bruyne's absence hurting Erling Haaland on the field? Like, what's happening? Three game weeks in a row he's been captain. He's made me a total of 12 points in those last 3 game weeks. I did say I had questions about Haaland being in captain, and part of me is like going, I wish I'd actually thought about Ollie Watkins, because then I would have been sitting a little bit more pretty, would have had an extra 6 points, but like, look, could have, should have, would have. It's unlucky at the end of the day. He should bounce back. I mean, they've got Southampton at home, and Southampton are rubbish. We saw them collapse against Leicester from 2 goals up. You'd be backing him in to score there, and he's hard to. But then you could probably potentially get rid of him. I don't know. His owner percentage has actually fallen. I think it was at 73.7 when I last looked. It's now 73.6. So some people are moving him on. I mean, 3 game weeks in a row when you cost 15.4 and you're not delivering, not the best. Not the best. Now, my bench. I called the bench right. Like, I've got to played Robinson over Faze or Justin, and they would have got me the same amount of points. So I didn't leave anything on the bench. So I'm not too unhappy with that. And Smith Rowe was definitely the right call, leaving him on the bench for Rodgers. I called it right. However, it's just the rest of the team just hasn't done that well. And that's pretty much the end of it, really. So let's get into what actually has happened this game week. So we'll start with the Spurs West Ham game. Sorry, my apologies. This game, James Maddison, I said great differential. He assisted and then got hooked at half time. Kulusevski actually got a goal in this game. Kulusevski's actually starting to look pretty damn good as an FPL asset. And this is what I want to talk about. Can you bring back players you've sold? So I've sold Salah and Kulusevski, and they're both in my mind about bringing them back because they're both playing well. Maddison actually got subbed off, so that way Kulusevski could have more protection behind him, and he literally ran the 10 role. He looked amazing. Everything that Tottenham created actually went for Kulusevski, and he looked really good. And that's what I thought I was buying into at the start of the season, which was why I had him in my team originally. But we're only starting to see that now in games. And I'm like, do I jump back on board? And then let's talk about Son. Son got a goal and also an assist in this game. And I'm pretty sure he actually ended up with a maximum bonus points. I thought Basuma got an assist. It must not have been. It was Papi Sarr, I think, that got the assist. I called that wrong in the game. I thought that was definitely a Basuma thing. So let's go down here. The bonus points here were Basuma 3. I did call that right then. And Son got 2 and Kulusevski got 1. So look, that's really good. And Kudus obviously scored for West Ham and then got sent off. Unlucky. There's a funny thing about him, like sitting down after he'd scored the goal, and that's where he'll be sitting for the next 3 game weeks. Well done. You can't slap people in the game of football and get away with it. Just ironic. He just was slapping everyone else. It's hilarious. Look, Areola made 4 saves here, but then he also conceded an own goal, so that was also unfortunate. I think it's been credited as an own goal to Areola, so again, not ideal, that's for sure. Yeah, it has been credited to Areola. And Jared Bowen actually got the assist. I know it doesn't say that, but he actually got the pass across to Kudos. So I'm pretty sure he got some points. I could be wrong. I'd have to double check it. So yeah, that was that game. So Spurs, they look great going forward, but as I said, they just concede goals. So, you know, if you had Van de Ven or Pedro Porro, like getting rid of Pedro Porro for Justin cost me 1 point. So I actually was 1 point worse off this game week. But I stand by the decision. I think that the cheaper the assets they are in defence, as you can see, just 1 goal for every team in this thing. It's ridiculous. So Aston Villa Fulham. So I called this one right. Raul Jimenez, though, scored another beautiful goal. And Bernd Leno got an assist. So well done to him, because it's very rare you get goalkeepers to get assists or score goals. So well done if you had him. Not many people do. Luca Dean got an assist. Ramsey assist, Telemans assist, and a Rodgers goal and a Watkins goal. So that was brilliant. And this one also had an own goal, but this was dupe for Fulham. There was a lot of own goals this week so far. And then the bonus points here. Unfortunately, Rodgers got a yellow card, so that ruled him out of the bonus points. So Tillemans actually got the maximum, Watkins got 2, and then Raul Jimenez got 1. Then, my game. I thought this was going to go a very different way, and I thought that Brian Mbeumo was 100% going to get involved here, but it wasn't. It was Pinnock in the defence. Another bargain option. Scored off a corner. Nice header. It was a great ball from Damsgaard, but, you know, they took advantage of the fact that United were down to 10 men for most of that half, with De Ligt's head continuously getting bandaged. But let's talk about the United assets. So Bruno Fernandes finally returned. He got an assist. Rashford got an assist. And Garnacho got a goal. At 6.2 million, he's definitely in my line of upgrading, line of thought for Emile Smith-Rowe. I can definitely get him up to a Garnacho, so that's definitely something that I potentially will look at. Also, how good was Flecken here? He conceded twice, but he made 9 saves. 9 saves. That's 3 bonus points. Sorry, not 3 bonus points. That's 3 save points. Fantastic stuff there from him. But that just goes to show how non-clinical Manchester United are. So Garnacho got all 3 bonus points in this game. And Højlund got 2, and Rashford got 1. Wow. Okay, there you go. The Newcastle-Brighton game. Now, this was interesting. I thought this would be a lot more entertaining than it was. I mean, Brighton kept a clean sheet. I was not expecting that. I was very hot off their assets for the next run of fixtures that they've got. But Danny Welbeck here, he just continues to score goals. Unfortunately, he did go off injured in this game. So if you are one of those people going, oh my God, he has scored again, I'd probably hold fire until later in the game week, because, he did go off. And he did go off with an injury. But they've got Wolves at home, and then they've got Liverpool and Man City. So, I still don't like the Brighton assets until game week 12, but if you've got him, I'd hold him. So, look, Danny Welbeck, though, he's risen from 5.5 to 5.9. He'll get to 6 mil. He's been brilliant. This is like vintage Welbeck. So good. He got 3 bonus points here as well. Jorginho got the assist. And obviously then, Vateman and Verbruggen got the bonus points, because Verbruggen made 6 saves. 6 saves. So he got the clean sheet, 6 saves. If you had him in goal and you played him this week, unbelievably good work. Great work. Leicester, Southampton. Now, Southampton were 2-0 up in this game, and I was like, the defensive assets for Leicester just didn't deliver in this game. So, unfortunately, Winks got an assist, so a lot of people potentially still might have him sitting on the bench, and he might be coming on for players that didn't play, like Saka that I called. But yeah, he did well. If you had him, this is one of those few game weeks where he's going to get you some actual points, so well done if you had him. And then Cameron Arch obviously scored a goal, but then not many people had the other assets. I mean, Jamie Vardy scored, but other than that, there wasn't too much to write about. But Archer actually got the most bonus points. So he ended up with 31. Okay, he did well. And then Arabo got the second, and then Vardy finished it off with the third one. Everton Ipswich. Now, I called Everton's great run of fixtures, and I said their defensive assets were looking pretty good. And I said Jordan Pickford, as I said, I wish part of me had gone Jordan Pickford instead of David Raya, because I would have had so many more points now over the last 3 game weeks. But alas, I didn't. So it is what it is. Michael Keane here, though, got the goal, and brilliant stuff. That's what you want from a defender, scoring goals. Dwight McNeil, my boy, got me an assist, so that was good. His second week in the team, and he's delivered for me, so I'm pretty happy about that. His price will continue to rise, I think, particularly with Everton's run coming up. Molienko got a bonus point here, and Michael Keane obviously got the max, so yep. Fun times there if you own those players. Now, let's talk about the shock of the round. Arsenal, how hard is it to keep 10 men on the field? It's pretty damn hard, apparently. And again, another red card. This time unlucky if you had Salah as part of your double up in your Arsenal defence, because he got himself sent off. So that was minus points, and he's now going to miss the next 3 weeks. David Raya gave away a penalty and didn't make any ball saves in 2, so he did nothing for me and just got the 1 point again, because obviously Bournemouth scored twice. Just disappointing, man. Disappointing. Kluivert here did really well, though. He got an assist and a goal. It wasn't enough to get the 3 bonus points. Sensei actually got the 3 bonus points here. And Kikere's got the 1. So, look, yeah, it is what it is. I'm sick of talking about Arsenal. Bakary Saka didn't play, as I predicted, and all their assets that, people had just flopped. Like, they just flopped. They did nothing in this game, man. Nothing. Disappointing. And let's don't get me started about Man City Wolves. So, the fact that Man City won this game was an absolute travesty here. Like, Bernardo Silva 100% interfered with the Wolves goalkeeper. And they should never have conceded a second goal. Let's just put it in there like that. They should never have conceded. So Strand Larsen, budget option here, 5.5 mil. He's looking good, man. He's scored quite a few goals now in his run. And let's have a quick look. So he scored in the last 2 games, and he obviously scored in game week 2 as well. And he's got an assist in there as well. So 4 of the 8 weeks, he's actually returned. And at 5.5 mil, with the run that they've got coming up, he is an option. Very good option to save some money, but still be like a reliable person you could potentially play in your team. So him and Cunha, 100%, they are definitely in my line of thinking moving forward. Game week 12 is when I want to play my wild card, but I feel like if I don't get one of these guys in before then, I'm going to be running the risk of them going up in price, and I'm going to be losing out on team value. So it's risk and reward, risk and reward. That's what this game is all about. Don't be too disheartened if you end up with a crap score, because like me, I've had a crap score this game week. They do happen. You just can't let them affect your judgment moving forward, and just hope for the best, that you start seeing like really clearly again. Savio got a yellow card here. Doku and Foden got the assist. So Foden was lucky to get an assist, and he started on the bench. Now, lots of people jumped on him, and I didn't recommend jumping on him because of the fact that I don't think he's a nailed-on starter at the moment. And with KDB coming back soon, I don't know. I feel like Phil Foden's done something to piss Pep off, and that's why he's starting on the bench, because it makes no sense to me. There's no reason why he should be starting on the bench, but he is. Gvardiol, though, scored a beauty here, and he played the more passes than anyone else in the final third this game week. So he looks like he's got the rollback that he finished with last season, and he's looking like his price is definitely going to go up. And he, as I said, he could be the player I bring in. Like, maybe I drop a Trent to a Gvardiol because Trent's got a harder run of fixtures. I'm not sure. I've got the money sitting in my bank, and part of me is like, do I just spend up for a few game weeks and just go Gvardiol in my defence, so that way I'm not having to play like a double up on Leicester and then seeing him do nothing. I'm not sure. It's definitely part of my thinking though. So yeah, look, Gvardiol got 2 bonus points, Strand Larsen got 3, and Stones got 1. And then Liverpool-Chelsea. So Mo Salah, he didn't actually play that well in this game, but Liverpool got a penalty, and Mo Salah dispatches penalty, so he got a goal from that. And it was a great pass that set up Curtis Jones for the goal there as well. And Nicholas Jackson returned again for his owners. So a lot of people sold him last game week because of the harder run of fixtures for Chelsea, but I did say that I expected him to keep on scoring or being involved in the goals, and he was. And he did well. Unfortunately, he also picked up another yellow card, which is not ideal. So, yeah, he got 1 bonus point, which was lucky considering he got a yellow card. Mo Salah got 2 and Curtis Jones got 3. So, look, Mo Salah's just quality, isn't he? And, like, I sold him for Cole Palmer, and I've really seen... hasn't made any points for me, that trade or that transfer so far. I mean, Liverpool's run is getting harder. Like, so I feel like I'm justified in what I'm doing, but Mo Salah seems to be fixture-proof, I would say, most of the time. Against the good teams, he normally plays well, and he scores. So, look, they've got Arsenal away this game week, and they've got no Salah now. So maybe they're going to get a bit lucky, and Mo Salah might actually profit. And then they've got Brighton and Aston Villa at home. Liverpool just look good, man. I hate saying it, but they look good. And maybe I was too premature in moving Salah on. Maybe there was another way of getting Cole Palmer into my team about doing it and just skimping out on the defence. That might have been the play. In reflection, that might be why I look back at the end of the season. I'm not 100% sure, but that's definitely what I'm thinking at the moment. The Liverpool run, it's tricky, but, you know, they have had a very soft start, but Mo Salah is now back to the top scoring player in the game, 74 points. You know, you'd be fuming if you'd signed, if you'd transferred him to Luis Diaz, who again started on the bench as predicted. His numbers and his ownership rating is plummeting as we speak. So I'd be jumping off board if I had him. Cody Gakpo again looked fairly decent in this game as well. And yeah, Cole Palmer was just unlucky. So let's say, and hopefully tonight's game, Nottingham Forest against Palace. As I said, I'm hoping for a Chris Wood hat-trick. I'd take at least 1 goal. If he scores 1 goal, that's going to get me 40 points in total, you would think, because he's likely to get a bonus point if he scores. So I will be hoping for a Chris Wood goal tonight, but I'm not holding my breath. So let's just cover the leagues really quickly. So in our leagues, think you can beat me. I'm still sitting at the top, only just. Some of the new entrants that have come in and joined from watching us and watching the pod. Purple Saint, well done to him. I think he's actually top scoring this game week, and he's on wildcard. So well done, Purple Saint. And I'm not going to try and say your name, mate, because I'm going to say it horribly wrong. So I do apologise for that. But look, he's still got sells to come. So if Crystal Palace don't score, he's likely to get 70 points in this game week, which is going to be a huge green arrow for him. Huge green arrow. So you can see there that he's on 501 and I'm only on 518, I think, in total points. So there's not much difference. Like, he's on 350,000 rank and I'm on 113,000 prior to tonight's game. And obviously the sub scores coming in. But look, he's picked and this is what I'm talking about. He's gone full budget defense and he's reaping the rewards. Look at his midfield. He's got Rodgers, Mo Salah, Son, and Buemo. Like, he's got 3 pretty premium assets in there, and he's got Haaland as well. And that's the way you do it. I think that's what the mode I want to go to. I want to have Morgan Rodgers still on my team, but then I want to have the more premium assets. Now, Trossard's the only one I would question here. And I think if he's got any free transfers this game week, I think I'd 100% be getting rid of Trossard. He didn't look good in this game, and you know, Arsenal's run the next 3 game weeks is hard, and without Saka and a few others in that team, the creativity definitely dried up. I mean, he had an expected goal involvement of 0.01, which is not good. Let's be honest. It's not good at all. So, yeah, look, I don't know about keeping him. I think he'd probably be the one that's in the firing line for me in this team. 6.9 mil. I'm not sure how much money he's got in the bank, but that's definitely what I'd be doing. But well done. He is our team of the week. He's definitely going to top score regardless of what happens in tonight's game. I don't think anyone's catching his score. So that's a massive green arrow, and he's new to the league. So well done. You get the shout out this week. So great stuff. Now, if you do want to join the league, the code is LDV6FK. So the code is LDV6FK. And this is also a good time to mention, if you are liking this video, please like the video. And if you're new, please subscribe as well to help us out, help me get this out to more people. Now, FPL Challenge really quickly. This was an interesting week. It was all about the ball winners. Now, again, I've got to stop picking Haaland and these teams, man, and putting captain on him because he's done nothing. I was kind of correct with Gravenberch. He got 5 points. He got a few ball recoveries. Kovacic didn't do much. I probably mispicked here. Could have gone with someone else. Virgil did all right. He got a few extra points there. And obviously Anana got 4 points here as well. So it wasn't too bad. It could have been better. But hey, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, looking ahead to this game week, it's all about key passes and crosses worth 2 points. So again, this one here, I think I'm just going to give it a Nana because I think that he'll be all right there. And they've obviously got West Ham away and he's probably going to be hoofing the ball up the field quite a bit. Defensive, I think here, I actually want to go Gvardiol. His role in this game week was ridiculous, really. And Cole Palmer, I think, at home against Newcastle, I think Cole Palmer's going to pop off this game week. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Now, we are going to change this formation to a 1-2-1. And I think here, I'm not sure who I like, but I feel like potentially Brian Mbeumo is a good pick, particularly with Ipswich at home. I think he's definitely someone that could exploit the weak matchup there. And then up top, you have to go Haaland this week. Now, I don't know if you go captain on him. I think you probably leave it on Palmer. The only, and I'll get into that later in the game week, but when I talk about captains. But I just think that for this particular game mode, what it is, that's what I'll be going with. So that's locked in. We won't have to worry about that. So we'll see how we go next week. But yeah. So look, onto my thoughts for this game week. Now, I have thought about transferring in and making some players. And honestly, I have thought about bringing back Salah. And there's a way of doing that. It requires a little bit of strategic movement and probably losing Ollie Watkins. But I did say before that I really like those Wolves fixtures coming up. And Strand Larsen and Cunha, I'm not sure which one I prefer more. So you can see there on the thing that Strand Larsen's 5.5 and he's actually scored 34 points. And Cunha's 6.5 and he scored 32. But I think potentially with the easier run of fixtures, I think Cunha will score more. I think. But it's really, you could get them both in. Like, honestly, you could get them both in and play them both. Because I feel like if Wolves are scoring, they're probably scoring multiple goals and they're probably a high likelihood of them both being involved in them. But that's just the way I'm thinking. I just feel like I really like the Wolves lineup, and Outnor is definitely on the hit list. I'm not sure I want to bring him in though. So there are a few options I could do this game week. So as I said, one of the options is quickly just to get rid of Harbour Bellis and bring in Gvardiol. That could be my one trade. And I'd have 0.5 left in the bank. And I'd be pretty happy with that. I feel like then I'd play Alexander-Arnold, Gvardiol and Justin this game week in defence. And it'd probably look a lot better than playing the double up Leicester and then Alexander-Arnold. But then, yeah, I'm not sure. Like the other option is I could also bring in like a Michael Keane. So just bring in Keane here. So he's also someone, and I know I always say don't chase points in hindsight, but if he's playing every week and Everton are keeping clean sheets, he's not going to score. I'm not interested in him scoring. I'm just interested in clean sheets. And as I said, the Everton run for the next 4 weeks is really good. At home, I expect them to defend well. But even though Fulham are a really good team and they do create opportunities, I expect them to defend well. And, you know, their run of fixtures after that's not too bad. They've got Southampton and West Ham and then Brentford. It's pretty good. I feel like there's clean sheets in there. And, like, at the end of the day, bringing him in there means that I then have still 2.4 million in the bank. And then I could still then spend it on, like, a Smith Rowe. Now, to what I really would like to do, and let's go to the midfielders here. I'm not sure which midfielder I like. So with 8 million in the bank, I don't like Luis Diaz, even though like he's still sitting third in the rankings. The minutes risk is really, I would really love to be able to bring Son in, from Tottenham, because I feel like he looked refreshed. He looked refreshed, and the Tottenham fixture for the next 3 weeks looks pretty good. They've got Palace away, and Palace are conceding goals. They've got Villa at home, and Villa have been conceding goals as well. And they've got Ipswich at home, and they're definitely conceding goals. So I feel like he could be a really good differential pick, considering that only 5.9% of the comp owns Son at the moment. Or Son, however you want to say his name. Son Heung-min. Yeah, so like I really like him. And like to get him in, I would actually just get that. Restore player. I could get rid of Trent. And then I can get like a 5.3 million defender. So this is like the other option I'm thinking of at the moment, and I'm like leaning towards, because I really want to get that second premium midfielder in. Like, it would have been Saka, but he's not. We don't know what the timeline is on him returning. And I only wanted to bring him in game week 12. So like that, the options here is that I could then bring in a Out-Nori, a Michael Keane in this particular slot, because I've got 5.3. I don't know how many options I really like in the defenders that are 5.3. Like, I look at them and like Gabriel 6.3, Canade's 5.3 from Liverpool. He could be a shout. I mean, or Dalot. Like, Dalot looked good. He almost had a shot. He probably should have scored against Brentford, let's be honest. But again, he's picked up a few yellow cards. He's picked up 2. I'm lying. Ignore that. But Man United have also been keeping clean sheets. And like 5.1, he's not a premium midfielder, but he'd fit this draft, and it would allow me then to bring in a Son like in midfield. And then it makes my team just look so much stronger, I think. Like, my midfield forward line, I then think that they can mask the fact that all these defenders are not keeping clean sheets right. You're not losing out on points if they're all conceding goals. The only point you're missing out on is when a defender scores, and that is literally like a lottery. So, I don't know. But then I am missing out on the fact that Trent takes a lot of corners. And like, not a lot of these defenders are taking corners and things like that. It then also makes Luca Dean look kind of enticing because he is on set pieces or set piece duty. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that's where I'm thinking at the moment, and I'm not sure which defender I'd actually go with here. Like, there's so many different options that could fit the team. Like, even Rico Lewis, if I really wanted to play it cheap, but I want to back City in to try and keep a clean sheet against Southampton. I'm not sure. Pinnock there looked good on the weekend. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But if I was to go what I originally thought, I do want to bring in Out-Nori. Now, I don't know if I want to bring him before game week 12. Now, he hasn't done much other than those 2 game weeks in game week 6 and 7. And he is a bit of a yellow card risk. He's up to 4, which means 1 more yellow card, he's going to miss a game. Now, the likelihood is he's going to pick that up. And I don't want to sit there, bring him in, and then he gets a yellow card against Brighton, and then he misses the next game against Palace. I feel like if I was going to bring him in, I'd bring him in for like game week 11, like the week before game week 12, because then I've got Southampton at home. You'd back them in to keep a clean sheet. Whereas I don't know if I'd back him in to keep a clean sheet the next 2 game weeks. I'm not 100% sure. But those are my early thoughts ahead of this game week. And like the forwards, yeah, I'm not sure about the forwards. Like Haaland, he's just let the team down so much. And I feel like you jump off a player and they deliver. So like Nicholas Jackson, he's still chuckling along, scoring his points. And you'd feel gutted if you transferred him to like a Delap this game week and he did nothing and Jackson popped off and got another goal. Like, that's annoying. One thing to know here is Wissa came in off the bench for Brentford, so that he could be potentially an option again as well. He's down to 5.9, so we just have to watch to see how he comes on. I wouldn't jump on him yet. And Solanke, I don't know how this bloke has risen 0.2 million. He's actually not done that much. Like, look at Solanke's scores this season. 2-0-0-2-6-6-5-2. I mean, yes, he scored a goal in game weeks 5 and 6, and he got an assist in game week 7. But other than that, he really hasn't done much. Like, it's almost the other players around him. Like, he's involved and he's like taking up the defenders or whatever, but he's actually not having that much direct impact on the goal, if that makes sense. So if we look here, he only had an expected goal involvement of 0.11 against West Ham, and they scored 4 times, and he was on the field for 80 minutes. I don't know. And Rickardson's back as well, so like, there could even be some rotation there. I'm not sure. I don't think he's a play. I don't think I want Solanke in my team. That's pretty much where it comes from. Now, Cameron Archer, bargain option there at 5 mil, but you wouldn't go there. I don't think Southampton are a team you really want to be investing in at all this season. And then midfielders this week, obviously there was a few good standouts, but it was quite slim pickings. Maddison and Johnson really only one assist between them, and obviously Maddison got hooked at halftime. They were disappointing. Martinelli, again, started on the bench. That was very disappointing for his owners, and Saka obviously didn't start, which for some people that was a bonus because a lot of people have Michael Keane sitting first man on the bench, and they're getting that 13 points that he scored. So sometimes you get lucky like that, and other times not. But Mo Salah and Kulusevski, I know Kulusevski have to go fair way down here to find him. And I'm pretty sure Jared Bowen scored this game. No, he didn't. He didn't get given the assist. I swear he touched it before Kudos scored. That's very interesting. I swear that he assisted that. Okay, apparently not. Then he got 2 points. But I quite like the run of fixtures for West Ham coming up. Jared Bowen's a definite option at 7.4. He's a great differential pick. They've got Man United at home this game week. There's just West Ham's form's been so patchy. I think that's why he hasn't been jumped on. But like he's delivered in 4 of the 8 weeks. And he's doing Jared Bowen things. I would back him in to do something against Man United. I mean, Man United had one good result. And all the Eric Ten Hag people are like, he's back, man. We're on the right track. Well, it's one game and it's Brentford, and Brentford don't travel away well from home. So that's something to keep in mind in regards to that. Semenyo probably should have scored in this game week. Unfortunately, that harder run of fixtures does look problematic, and his price is dropping. And yeah, he's not owned by as many people, but like if you've got him, I think you just try and hold the next 2 weeks and just put him on your bench if you can. I'm not sure how much he's going to do in the next 2 weeks against Villa and City, but we'll just have to wait and see. City do concede the odd goal, so you never know. But I think I wouldn't be going there at the moment. And the Newcastle assets, I mean, Newcastle just look weird, man. They just don't look like they're going to do anything. And they've got a hard run. Chelsea away and Arsenal at home. I think they're going to lose both of those games. I'd be shocked if they won them. Shocked. I mean, their kind of run opens up from game week 11. They've only really got the Liverpool and the Spurs game in between like 11 and 25. So I feel like you potentially could invest, but again, I just don't think Newcastle are playing that well. And if we look ahead to the fixtures for next game week, I think you really want to target that Man City-Southampton game, which is why I'm thinking of Gvardiol. And obviously, Chelsea have Newcastle at home. And I think that Newcastle there to be exploited, to be honest with you. I really feel like this could be the week that Cole Palmer pops off in my team. And I think Villa at home to Bournemouth will also be a game where there's lots of goals in. I'm hoping. And Spurs against Palace, depending on how well Palace play, that could be interesting as well. The Arsenal-Liverpool game also means that this potentially could be a lower scoring game week because this could be a really cagey affair and it could be a 0-0 or it could be a 1-1. And it might be some weird goals going in. But you'll just have to wait and see. But look, those are my thoughts ahead of Game Week 9. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and hopefully it's a bit of insight. I'm trying to be as measured as possible, knowing that I have not played well. Well, my team has not played well this game week in Game Week 8. But there's only so much you can do in life. And look, that's it. 33 points at the moment. Chris Wood, please deliver me a miracle overnight. Please boost my rank back into the top 100,000 teams again. I am holding out for you. Please do it for me, baby. All right, I will join you very shortly for some differentials to boost your game week. I'll be probably putting that up tomorrow or Wednesday before I do my wildcard draft for Game Week 9. So keep an eye out for that later in the game week. Thanks for joining. That's the D Unit out.